These are some of your favorite novels adapted to the big screen. From Twilight to The Notebook, many romance novels have been transformed into movies to the delight of their fans. So if you're looking for a good romance novel turned movie to watch tonight, look no further because we got you covered. Welcome to Trending Ticket, and today we're introducing you to the top 10 romance movies based on books. Make sure to watch until the end because that one is the best romance movie adaptation of all time. Number 10. P.S. I Love You. Starting this countdown at number 10 is P.S. I Love You, which is based on the 2004 novel by Irish novelist Cecilia Ahern, an American romantic drama film. P.S. I Love You was released in 2007 and follows the story of Jerry, played by American actor Gerard Butler, and how his death from an illness affects his wife Holly Kennedy, played by Hilary Swank. Jerry knows that Holly will be severely affected by his absence, and as such, writes a series of letters to her as comfort. The film is a faithful adaptation of the novel, and the letters that Jerry writes are practically the same. Its heartbreaking scenes will have viewers under a spell, while also breaking their hearts, but the film also has touches of humor here and there to take the tension off. Still, the message of the film will leave a lasting impact and is so convincing that your chest will hurt. P.S. I Love You will surely tug at your heartstrings, but it's hardly the best romance movie based on a book. That's where our number 1 pick comes in, so stay tuned. Number 9. The Fault in Our Stars. Next, at number 9 is The Fault in Our Stars. Based on the 2012 novel by John Green, this 2014 romantic drama film stars Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort as the protagonists, Hazel Grace Lancaster and Augustus Waters. The film follows Hazel, a 16-year-old teenager who has cancer and is forced to attend a support group by her parents. It is there that she meets another cancer patient, Augustus, and falls in love with him despite their terminal illnesses. After it was released, it was positively received by critics and viewers who praised Woodley's and Elgort's performances as the two leads. The two had an on-screen chemistry that made the film adaptation as emotional as its book counterpart. The tragedies portrayed in the novel translate very well into the movie to the point that viewers felt their hearts ache for these two star-crossed lovers. In fact, some people thought that the movie was better than the book. Number 8. Me Before You. Moving on to number 8, and we have Me Before You, which is based on the 2012 novel by Jojo Moyes. Starring Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin, the film follows the story of Lou Clark, who is hired as a companion for banker Will Traynor. Will became paralyzed from the waist down because of a vehicular accident, and as a result, he is cynical and depressed due to the drastic change in his circumstances. Lou attempts to cheer him up, so Lou must work with him despite his cynicism and desire to go through something that will take all of Lou's willpower to prevent. Me Before You is truly a cinematic masterpiece. It takes a more realistic approach to the whole idea of romance, and the ending will definitely leave some people in tears. Me Before You goes against the cliché plots that many romance films follow, and leaves a few lessons about independence and not letting other people's expectations affect your decisions, and will spark debates about life or death and the morality of electing suicide for oneself. Number 7. The Lucky One. Number 7 on this list is the film adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' 2008 novel titled The Lucky One. Released in 2012, this romantic drama stars Zac Efron as Logan Thibault, who is a U.S. Marine. Logan finds a picture of a young woman while he is serving in Iraq and decides to keep it as some sort of good luck charm. When he gets back to the U.S., he becomes determined to track down the woman and begin a relationship with her. The Lucky One differs from other Nicholas Sparks-based films as it has more mature and serious tone. It is also told from Logan's perspective, which lends a masculine perspective to the film. Quite a change from the usual romance movie. Zac Efron was in his prime as Logan, and his performance in the film was praised by critics. Nicholas Sparks fans will get a kick out of this movie and enjoy how everything plays out in the end. Impressed by The Lucky One? Well, don't stop here because this list has the best romance movie based on a book at number 1, and it might shock you. Number 6. Dear John. Next on this list at number 6 is Dear John, which is another film based on a Nicholas Sparks novel. Like The Lucky One, Dear John follows the life of a soldier whose name is in the title and is played by Channing Tatum. John falls in love with a young woman named Savannah, who is played by Amanda Seyfried, and their love story is played out in a series of letters that they exchange after John is deployed to war. War is constantly in the backdrop of this film, and it affects the relationship of the two leads. John is only able to strengthen his romance with Savannah when the war loosens its grip on him, But some tragedies strike and Savannah writes a literal Dear John letter that changes their lives forever. The film is full of sentiments and deals an artistic touch towards the novel. It held the best debut of the film based on a Nicholas Sparks movie when it grossed over $30 million at the box office, surpassing Avatar after 7 weekends. Number 5. The Time Traveler's Wife. Number 5 on this list is a romantic science fiction film titled The Time Traveler's Wife. The film is based on a 2003 novel of the same name and written by Audrey Niffenegger. The Time Traveler's Wife follows Henry DeTamble, who has a rare genetic disorder which makes him travel unpredictably and at random times. DeTamble, who works as a Chicago librarian, finds it difficult to build a romantic relationship with artist Claire Abshire due to his condition. The film is both a science fiction and a romance and takes inspiration from Niffenegger's own struggles with love. It explores the heart-wrenching themes of love, loss, and free will and uses time travel to examine the relatable issues of miscommunication and distance in relationships. The film was praised for its plot and original concepts and is a must-watch for people who like the deeper aspects of life.
I know.
Number 4. Crazy Rich Asians. Placing at number 4 on this list is Crazy Rich Asians, which is based on Kevin Kwan's 2013 novel. The film was first announced in 2013 and was filmed in several locations including Malaysia, Singapore, and New York City. Crazy Rich Asians holds the distinction of being the first modern film by a major Hollywood studio to have a cast composed of actors who are mostly of Asian descent. The movie follows Chinese-American New Yorker Rachel Chu, who goes to Singapore with her boyfriend Nick Young to attend a wedding. Unbeknownst to Rachel, Nick actually comes from one of Asia's wealthiest and most prominent families and is a sought-after bachelor. Rachel becomes a target for single women and even Nick's family, particularly his judgmental mother Eleanor, who has a clear dislike for Rachel. Crazy Rich Asians was an instant hit at the theaters and was applauded for perfectly capturing the complex standards and inner workings of Singapore high society. The film earned several Golden Globe Award nominations and received very positive praise from critics, which gave even more exposure to the source novel.
If Nick chose me, he would lose his family, and if he chose his family...
Number 3. A Walk to Remember. Moving on to number 3, and we have a 2002 American coming-of-age film titled A Walk to Remember. This romantic drama film is based on the 1999 Nicholas Sparks novel, which has the same name. It features Shane West, Mandy Moore, Peter Coyote, and Daryl Hannah in a 1990s setting, which was a drastic change from the 1950s timeline of the novel. The film, like the book, is dedicated to Sparks' sister Daniel, whose struggles with cancer inspire the story. The film follows an aimless high school senior named Landon who finds himself falling in love with Jamie, a young woman that he and his friends used to make fun of. Landon and Jamie enter a powerful and inspirational relationship through which they discover some shocking truths about each other that could possibly affect their future. A Walk to Remember is a gut-wrenching film that had every viewer in tears because of its heartbreaking story. It's one of those films that withstands the test of time, and you'll never get sick of re-watching the story of Landon and Jamie time and time again. Number 2. The Notebook. Another Nicholas Sparks novel-based film enters this list at number 2. The Notebook is the story of a poor but passionate young man who falls in love with a young but rich woman who likes the sense of freedom that comes with their relationship. However, their romance is tested by the social differences that their stations in life create, and they are soon separated. The story is told several years later and is read from a notebook by an elderly man who lives in a nursing home. The Notebook explores society's perception of the differences between the poor and the rich and how love can possibly cross any boundaries. It tells the message that no matter what comes between the two characters, love defeats everything and wins in the end. The Notebook performed well at the box office, and the actors' performances, which were beautiful and heartwarming, were very well received and fit the film's gripping plot very nicely.
The Notebook.
Number 1. Twilight. Taking the number 1 spot on this list is a 2008 romance fantasy film, Twilight. The first in a series of 5 films that are based on the vampire novels written by Stephenie Meyer, Twilight tells the story of a high school student named Bella Swan. Bella is kind of a misfit and a loner, and when she moves from Arizona to Washington, she doesn't expect life to change that much. However, that all changes when she meets Edward Cullen at her new school and enters into a dangerous relationship with the handsome but immortal vampire. Twilight is such a big hit as it grossed a total of $393.6 million worldwide. The audience enjoyed the movie, and it was in fact one of the most anticipated movies of 2008 because of the hype that the books created. By the time the film came out, Millions of people, teens and women alike, have already read the books and were familiar with the story. Millions became addicted to the vampire saga, and Twilight eventually became a cultural phenomenon, making it one of the best romance movies based on a book. Do you agree with this list? Which romance film based on a book is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And if you loved this video, give it a thumbs up, then watch our other video on the top 10 movies of 2020 you can watch right now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so that you'll be notified when videos like this come out.